Yo. That's good. Young hockey here. What you want me to do? Okay. Well, you would know before me. If you read this title, it's gonna be Solo Leveling Chapter 118, 119, 120, 121, and 122. I got a lot. I had to read all of them and catch up. I'm finally. I don't know what I've been. I've been in a funk lately. Like where I love anime. Like obviously, I'm doing this channel, so obviously I love anime and manga. But I haven't been reading it lately, and now I'm just trying to get back on it. So I caught already up, and I was gonna like kind of give my opinions and like basically a review of those chapters. These first two is gonna be kind of quick because in chapter 118, um, I always mention art because it's kind of hard to forget it. I mean, it's easy to forget like when you get to talking about a chapter and stuff. Like so, either you mention it at the beginning or the end. Let me just say for all of these, the art is always good because yeah, it's just always good. And that's for like manhwa in general because I don't know what them niggas be doing over there, but them niggas be in a different bag with the art. But especially Solo Leveling has really great art. So I'm gonna just put that out there for all of them. So I'll just keep saying that. But yeah, this was a good transition chapter. What happened? Yeah, like the orcs was attacking his sister and his friend. I don't want to call her his friend because like I thought like the, we'll get to this later in the other chapters, but I thought she was gonna be the one to join the guild, and a lot of people did too. Like when he turned down his first bay or whatever, I thought he was gonna go for her, but he didn't. So, but yeah, them two was stuck. Like they was trapped with the orcs and stuff, and like Sunju gets like the message because he had Tusk guarding his sister. So yeah, he just the so yeah, it was just a good transition chapter, and that kind of rolls into 119. Which is another transition, but this time we got to meet Tux. Like I said, he was Gardner, and he was like protecting her, like that was his order. And he leaves. What's his name? He leaves the the portal thing. Yeah, he leaves it or whatever, and they take the care of. I don't even want to say he left it in the care of those people. He basically just told Beryl to handle the whole thing, which is kind of boss at the same time. Is like, bruh, this nigga. Like when I read that, like I was like, bruh, this nigga's getting too powerful. Like where he, like, in my opinion, I think if I think he didn't even like he left Bureau and some soldiers. In my opinion, I think if Bureau just walked in there with no help from the other guild and no like army soldier people or whatever, I think he could have took that whole place down by himself. It would have been like extreme death just because there would have been so many people and like they didn't know and stuff. So I think Bureau could have took that whole thing by himself. Honestly, like yeah, he's a monster, but you already knew that. But again, uh, oh, the orcs like when all right, Tux shows up to protect his sister and friend, right? Bruh, them orcs is smart, bruh. Cause like they was using battle tactics and stuff. It was like, yo, who's who's the person with the all the magic or whatever that's causing like these people not to or these other orcs not to die and stuff. And he's like, yo, he singled out his sister. He's like, I was like, ah. And then they started using tactics to like they seen the orcs regenerate, so they started using tactics to like uh outspeed the regeneration and stuff like that. It was like I thought it was kind of smart. I was like, he got some tactics under his sleeve. So that was really cool. But yeah, it was just basically another transition chapter. And I wanted to say like, bro, his speed is like I can't get like his foot like his movement speed like is like he blitzed out of that portal. Like he blitzed. Um, what was I about to say? Like when he left, like they addressed him as his uh, monarch or whatever, or they addressed him like they didn't say anything, but they was like they didn't do anything either. Like he noticed it, was like, oh, that's kind of cool. because I guess it was like he figured they was undead, so he was like, all right. So he blitzed out of there, and then he hopped on Kaizo the dragon or whatever, and like I said, that I think they were in a different city too. I'm pretty sure they was in a different city. So for Sun Jin Woo to get all the way to the school from there to there, like insanely fast, like before like any damage could be done to his sister or anything, that's like that's some crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like like this nigga's I don't know, but like that nigga was moving. Yeah, that's gonna do it for them first two chapters. Like I said, them both was kind of just transition chapters because like for the most part. Uh, so 120, um, he comes in, flies in through the wall or the window or whatever. Him and Kaizo, and they rescue everybody. Or first, like the orcs get past Tusk and they grab his sister, and that was like when I was like, bruh, you like you a dead body, bruh. And he knew it too because once he grabbed her, like he sensed Sun Jin Woo. Like Sun Jin Woo wasn't there yet. Like he wasn't close, but he was close. You know what I mean? And he was like, yo, I sent a terrible, tremendous power or whatever. And this nigga Sun Jin Woo finally got there. This nigga was shook, which is kind of like it's kind of sweet. Like people can like or the orcs could sense like how powerful he was. So he arrives there. He he has Kaizo. Like, he escorts all the kids out on the dragon or whatever. Um, and yeah, he shows up. He fodderizes them out orcs, bruh. Like he gets everybody. Like when the kids leave, like bruh. He didn't use no knives, no shadows either. I think uh I think he brought out Idris, and I'm gonna get to that. But like for the most part, he didn't really use any shadows to fight. He just used like bare hand. Like that's how pissed he was. Like you could tell like he was mad. Like the orcs try to speak when he was like checking on his sister, and he was like, "Don't you say another word." Like half his face was like a I don't know, like a shadow of eye. Like this nigga was he was pissed. Like, so you knew that nigga. It was curtains for that nigga. Sorry, I don't know if somebody's white reading this or watching this, so I try to stop saying that. But yeah, it was curtains for him. So he just uses the Dominator hand and just fodderizes literally the whole everybody. Yeah, that was kind of crazy. Um, the interesting thing is now the orcs, or I don't even want to say the orcs. Now anything that is in a portal does not see him as human, and like I thought that was really interesting because like I, they basically he's gotten to such a either he's gotten to such a high level or he's been so much infused with the how he got his powers, the statue person, like he's so infused with the darkness or whatever that they don't even consider him human anymore. Because like the things that come out the portal, it's like it's in their brain, kill humans, kill humans, kill humans, but it didn't say it for him. He's like, oh, you don't even see me as human. It's like I thought that was like, wow, well, that's kind of crazy. But like I was saying earlier, like a little bit, like a couple minutes ago, I was like, they don't like nobody sees him as like human anymore. Oh, I was just saying that, but I was talking about like earlier, like when he was still in the portal, like the zombies and stuff, like they didn't attack him. They see him as like one of them basically, and like I said, he's stupid strong, and they can sense that also. Um, One thing I wanted to talk about is I want to set this dynamic up. Uh, okay, he saved Biru for the raid, right? So I think Biru is. I know it was like some discussion in the community, like, but I think Biru is officially his strongest, his number two, basically. But I think uh, Idris is his most trustworthy, and I think I don't know if if you guys watch basketball, but if you know the Warriors, the, Stephen Curry, or I don't know why I said this dude's whole name. Curry is the best player, right? But Draymond is the emotional leader. He's trustworthy. He's dependable. He's all of that. And I think that's how it is for them. Like Biru is the strongest. He's Curry, but uh, Idris is Draymond. He does all the little things. He's the most dependable. He's the most trustworthy. And like especially when you consider what's his name? First Bay. I forgot her name because they all got crazy names, but I forgot her name. When she went against Biru he got he overrid his commands and stuff like that. So I'm sure that's still on Sun Jin's mind. So it's and just in general, he does. It seems like he's tiptoeing the edge all the time. So it's kind of crazy. But yeah, he's officially his right hand man. But like I said, Idris is his most dependable, most trustworthy. And I think that's a good dynamic. But uh, I think something is going to happen with Biro. I don't know what. I think he's going to be free eventually. I don't know if it's going to be he's going to be a shadow rampaging or something like that. But I think he's going to eventually be able to ignore Sun Jin's orders. He might just give up his shadow and just go away, he doesn't want to be or whatever. But we'll see. But I think something is going to happen, and he's going to try to attack Sun Jin or something like that. And Aegis is going to fight him. I don't know. I'm just throwing out stuff. I'm just saying, but I think something is going to happen eventually. 121. Yeah, like I said, Biru fodderized the whole gate earlier. He fodderized it. He fodderized it. It was kind of bad. And the people around it was they was kind of in shock. It was bruh. They was they was basically Sun Jin doesn't even have to be here, and they're just walking through the gate, taking out the undead, taking out everybody. Bureau meets the what's his name, the main boss person, the main monster, and yeah, what happened? Oh yeah, she's she can tell that he's sent by Sun Jin Woo, and they address him as the Monarch from now on. I kind of slipped on that earlier, but they address him as Monarch now, and I think that just officialized because I believe at the end of season 1 and the beginning of season 2, that's what they were talking about, the Monarch, the Monarch, the Monarch. We weren't for sure if that was Sun Jin Woo or not, but this is kind of confirmation. Anything that's in the gate or from the gate, it refers to Sun Jin as the Monarch. And he's well known in the gates or wherever that world is. In that world, he is well known. They know that dude heavy. And any undead thing is treated as a god, or they treat him as a god. She was you're basically she was saying you're sent from the Monarch, and he was yeah, and she was and she was trying to reason with Biru. It was yo, he was yo, yeah, I don't know what to tell you, Chief. I'm just chosen by him. And then she was she was still trying to reason him. And he was yo, you doing too much talking for somebody about to die. And he one hits her, just stabs her straight in her little green heart. Give me that. Crushed it. And all the little undead things was dead. It was bruh. Like I said, the whole other guild was in shock. They was bruh, one shadow killed this boss. Something that destroyed another guild that was big time. It annihilated a whole other guild. And it was kind of famous for that. And Biru killed it in one hit. It's bruh. So yeah, the association head leader guy, he meets with Sun Jin, and he's talking to him it was kind of a what's his name, an informal way. of thinking. I'm like, he didn't say thank you. Oh, thank you for saving. Like, I don't think he's ever gonna be like that. But he was kind of saying thank you because like he recognized like it could have been worse. You know what I'm saying? Like the orcs could have got they could have killed the rest of the kids that was there, and they could have got free, and they killed civilians that was out and about. Like they could have did a lot of damage before, some hunters got there. So, uh, but yeah, the head guy he was mentioning like all not just in Korea but all around the world. Basically, there's been an increase in gates. Uh, what's his name? And I think that's and Sunjin also kind of agrees. Like, or I think he's like thinking about it. He's like, I think that's their way of balancing it. Like, they know he's out there. Like the monarch, he's that guy. He's that dude. Like he's walking through whole gates, destroying everybody. Like with no challenge. Like it ain't like he like, oh, man, I had to really try. Like nah, bro. Like he's not even breaking a sweat. Like we'll get to 122. Like what he did on the first guild raid. It's like he's not even trying, bro. And like so, like I think he's thinking like this is their way to balance it out and stuff. Like there's more gates in Korea, more gates all over, and they're trying to spread the hunters thin. I guess. And so the associate guy is like, "Yo, anything I can do?" Like, and that's understandable because he's talking about like how many F ranks they lost and stuff. He's like he lost to the guy to America. The healer guy died. Some other people died. And like he's basically just that was probably the most unselfish thing he said. He was basically begging like, yo, anything I can do to keep you here, I'm down. So Sunjin brings up he wants to bypass the rule of head count, like of entering a raid. Like you got to have a certain amount of people. He doesn't want to have that restriction anymore. It's kind of interesting, like the same chapter earlier, like the other guild that helped him with the raid that I was just talking about. Like he was basically saying like they thought he thought he was being gonna be able to like to leech off of like Sunjin and stuff. It's like yo, we just come with him, we get free stuff, and then he do all the work, basically. So it was kind of cool. But the head guy brings it up to like the rest of the head honcho people or whatever, and they're not going for it. And I don't think none of them realize how powerful Sunjin is. Like I think they still think he's a S rank. Like I know officially he's an S rank, but I think they still think of him as an S rank. Like they still think of him as on the same tier as all the rest of them. They don't really know. Like I don't want for now. I'm gonna say they don't realize he's nation level. I don't want to say he's like really nation level, but I'm saying it. That's only because I don't know how strong the nation level people is. But I'm assuming they're significantly stronger than the S ranks. So in that case, he's a nation level hunter, and they just haven't recognized it yet. And they're like, "Yo," and like the head guy points out, like, "You moved basically closer to Sun Jin like recently." And he was like, "Is that because you trust him over anything else and stuff like that?" And he basically put him on the spot. It was just kind of cool. So, um, yeah, so that was going on, and it's like the head guy was just basically saying like, "Yo, we have to do this. Like, if we can do this, then like, how can we expect him to stay? And why would he want to stay if we can't fulfill one request?" It's like it makes sense. Like, if you can't do something as simple as this, like he ain't asking, yo, give me a certain amount of money every month. I'm your strongest person, yada yada yada, and nothing like that. So, like I said, yeah. And at the same time, they're looking for their third founding member, and uh, what's his name, Jinho. The I, basically I think of him as a glorified secretary because he's still D rank. And like he just does like he does all like the stuff that Sun Jin doesn't know how to do, basically. With all the official like paperwork and clerical stuff. So I basically just call in my head, like I refer to him as a secretary. But he calls up his cousin who's an A rank from his dad's guild or whatever. And she doesn't know that he's calling on behalf of Sun Jin's like guild or whatever. So he invites her over and asks her to be the third guild member. And of course she's starstruck because, like I said, if the head associate people don't realize he's a nation level, for damn sure other guild members, just the public at large, they're not gonna realize he's nation level. But she was focused on like he ruined the moment of the one guy who was out front of the stairs. I'm worried about that dude. It was kind of funny though. Of course, she accepts, and she takes a selfie like of them three. Like basically, it was like the champagne or whatever. They pop in the champagne, or that was basically the equivalent of it. But first base sees it. It's like I was like, oh, you know, I'm gonna be real. You know, if it was a nigga like me, sorry. If it was somebody like me, you know, if it was your boy right here, you know what I'm saying, I would have wanted, you know, her to come down and press me like, yo, you don't want me in your guild, but you want this other B, yada yada yada. That's what I would have wanted. But she didn't do that, or at least not yet anyway. And but yeah, she was mad. Like it said Rumble in the chapter. So it was like she was shaking the house basically because she was so mad. But that was cool. Uh, yeah, that's probably gonna be it for that chapter. Last chapter though. It's okay. This is only 22 minutes. Okay, I'm not that long. I thought it was gonna be like 40. I was like, bruh. Okay. The last chapter I'm gonna talk about is 122. Uh, the first guild raid. You know, eventually, like they agree is like that. It's like yeah, they gave in and say, yo, you can do this. Basically, you can go into raids without uh, the amount of people. But I guess there was some trepidation in the conference. Like, so they invited the guy that was most against it, most against the head honcho dude. They invited him onto the or he invited himself. Was like, yo, you mind if I accompany you? And he was G'd up. You know, he had his big money gear and stuff. But he was shook when he got in there because, like I said, Sun Jin is like this is. I'm pretty sure it was an A rank gate. And yeah, like he just waltzed in. Like he brought the guys out. Like, y'all get ready to mine, yada yada yada. So yeah. He went in there and fodderized it. So that was kind of cool. You know, they got the jokes off like, uh, hey, don't eat none of the corpses, you know, those worth money and stuff like that. Uh, but he goes and meets the boss. The boss is like it's like a mermaid, but a shark at the top. I don't know if you, this is gonna be throw you back, but if you guys ever seen Ben 10, the fish thing that he used to be able to transform into, I forgot what it's called. But that's what the thing looked like. And I was like, that's what it made me think of anyway. But yeah, he called the shadows back, except for the ones that was mining, and fodderized that thing quickly. One hit it, it was done. But interesting thing is, he made it a shadow. And like he was talking about its capabilities before, like uh, he was saying, like it's not really it's a combative person, obviously, but uh, it's not really like physical. It's more so like Tusk, where it's like it got a whole lot of magic power because it was like super big. It was like big as a freaking a giant house. But when the shadow resurrected, it was like only a little bit taller than Sun Jin. So like he can. he recognized, okay, it's able to use magic to make itself bigger and all this other stuff. And he was like, he basically put it on the same tier as Tusk. And what's the name of it? I'm sure it's going to be in Korea it's pronounced differently, but for my English self, I'm American, so I'm assuming it's pronounced Jima. Uh, but the other interesting thing that happened in there is he leveled up, and all his skills leveled up. That was kind of cool. It was like, especially Shadow Exchange. He took an hour off of the cooldown with that level up. So he said, uh, so now it's 2 hours. And so he's like, if he keeps leveling up, eventually it won't matter like where he's at. He can help anybody. Like if it took off an hour now, what if it takes off? I don't know, 50 minutes next time or another hour. Who knows? Like that's stuff invaluable. Like if it gets down to only like a couple minutes, like what it say if he can do shadow exchange every 10 minutes, like bruh, like he's a monster. You know what I'm saying? Like uh so yeah. And the last thing is we left on a huge cliffhanger is in Japan there was a huge red gate in the sky, and I don't know if they're gonna request Sun Jin's help because Korea is so close. I'm not gonna put it past them, but I don't think so. I think it's gonna get loose and like just wreck Japan. I don't know. We'll see. But they might send. I think China. Well, I can't remember if that one nation level guy or S rank guy or whatever was he Chinese or Japanese. I can't remember. But they might send him, and we might see his powers or whatever. Or like I said, they might request help with Sun Jin. We don't know. But overall, this was a good set of chapters. I'll try to make these more often. Like with this, and I'm about to make My Hero chapter video right after this one. I try to make this one first, so in case My Hero dropped or something. Uh, but yeah, I try to make these more often. I don't know. I'd be lazy. Like it's easier to get the views. Like if I drop it in the morning or the middle of the day, stuff like that. When people consume it, I can't drop these mugs. I like yo, drop this at 11. Like you know what I'm saying. It's like I make it and then I just be like, or like I write the stuff down. It just be a lot. I'm trying to get better though. This is the this feels like homework. I like talking about it, like I said, because like I never have nobody to talk to about a lot of these series. But if you feeling like homework, I'm like, oh, all right, I gotta write this stuff down. I got something to write it down on, and I'm sitting here talking. I like the talking part, but like just the process of reading and writing is like, even though I do like reading stuff, obviously. But yeah, that's gonna do it for me. If you like this video, or if you like solo leveling, give it a like, subscribe, more content. If you like One Piece, My Hero, solo leveling, Jagon, Unordinary, Hardcore Leveling Warrior, Tower of God. I read a lot, so yeah. If you're interested in any of those, give me a subscribe. More of that stuff on the way. If you play Apex or Rainbow, I do play Fall Guys, but it's kind of falling off. I think it's dying. It made me sad. So, but if I make a comeback, I'll still play it. But if you like either one of those, follow me on Twitch. That's the same name. I put that in the description. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm a cool guy. I retweet funny stuff. And yeah. I'll holler back at you later. Ooh.